Lesson 5 is going to be focusing on rotation. So you're actually going to do 2 different activities about rotation just to kind of help make more sense of it and find some ways that you can go a little quicker and find some strategies to help you. When we started the rotation activity, you were using graph paper and trace paper or patty paper. Remember, you can always use the patty paper for the lessons as well as on the test. What I want you guys to remember is the quadrant numbers. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Other things that you want to remember is when your x is positive and negative and when your y is positive and negative, because how you rotate it is going to give you some idea as to what the coordinates are going to look like. Other things that you need to remember for rotation is from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2 or quadrant 1 to quadrant 4, they are both 90 degrees. However, this is clockwise, and this is 90 degrees counterclockwise. From 1 to 3, no matter how you look at it, it's always going to be 180 degrees. Now, one thing you can always know is that to go from 1 all the way to 2, if I wanted to go from 1 and go all the way around to 2, that's also 270 degrees clockwise. I know on tests or on quizzes or on worksheets or on even bookwork, they're going to say do 90 degrees clockwise or 270 degrees counterclockwise. Well, if you know it's the same thing as a 90 degrees, go ahead and do the 90 degrees unless it asks you to stop at each 90 degrees, which it won't because we're going to get into multi-step. But go ahead and kind of look today for ways that you can ensure that when you rotate it, you're truly rotating it to the exact point. And the next slide will talk more about rotation in terms of where to rotate. There's 2 types of rotation, and it talks about rotating it around a point or around the origin. More than likely, about 90% of the work we do, you're going to rotate it around the origin. So what that means is when you actually rotate it, you're going to hold your pen or pencil down actually on the origin while you rotate it. If it asks for around a certain point, it might say the point, in this case, 2, 2. I would hold my finger on the point 2, 2 and rotate the actual figure. Sometimes it might say rotate it around point A, point B, point C. That's actually on your figure. So if I had a triangle here, and let's say this right here is point A, it might say rotate it 90 degrees clockwise around point A. So I would trace my figure on my patty paper, and I would hold my finger down at point A and actually rotate the figure 90 degrees. When you guys use the trace paper, always make sure it lines up on the origin here. And you want to make sure that you actually have marked on your paper where the origin and then the X and Y axis. You don't have to make it very big, but that will help you because you know from 90 degrees, I'm going to go from here to here if it's clockwise. And it just kind of helps you and so on and so forth know to make sure that you've actually turned it or rotated it a full 90, 180, 270, whatever it asks for. It's not going to ask for anything extreme measurements like 37 degrees or anything like that. We pretty much stay with the basic 90, 180, and 270.